Today we celebrate the feast day of St. Vincent de Paul. He's a saint who lived in the late 16th century, early 17th century, but most of his ministry was in the early 17th century. He was ordained a priest at the age of 19, which was very, very young at the time, but even today it's unheard of any priest being ordained at the age of 19. But soon after he was ordained, he went out, but he was soon captured by barbarians, by pirates. And it was said, and this is a lot of myth that's going on here, that we don't really truly know the story. But one of the stories is that he was captured by these barbarians, these pirates, and he spent about 2 years in captivity. But he was able to appeal to one of the pirates, who Vincent talked about Christianity to him. And he was able to convert this pirate, at least to his cause, enough for this pirate to let Vincent go. And after being released, Vincent returned to Rome. And he asked the Pope, what do you want me to do? And the Pope sent him to France, to Paris, to be part of the king's court. And being part of the king's court, he had access to a lot of the various nobility and the wealthy at the time. But Vincent soon found that he had a great affinity for the poor. He would go on to build schools, to build hospitals, and to build places of education for priests. Vincent would go on to found a religious order of priests, the Vincentians, or as they're sometimes known, the Lazarists. And he would also found an order of sisters, the Sisters of Charity. But we mostly know Vincent de Paul for his effects with the laity. He was the inspiration for the St. Vincent de Paul Society. If you go to many of the Catholic churches and some Protestant churches throughout the world, you'll see in many of them a St. Vincent de Paul Society. And what the St. Vincent de Paul Society does is it carries on the mission of St. Vincent de Paul, helping those who have trouble helping themselves. People who might be hard on their luck, people who might be homeless, people who might not have enough money for food or might not have shelter for the night, people who might just be having a hard time paying for a particular bill. This is the work, the legacy of St. Vincent de Paul. And it continues to draw many, many volunteers all throughout the world. People who are willing to freely give of their time, their talent, and their treasure to help the poorest of the poor, just as St. Vincent did in his time here on earth. So today we celebrate a man who's not very well known in terms of his life, but a man who's well known for the legacy that he left behind and for the inspiration that he continues to carry on, hopefully for many generations to come, seeing Jesus in the poorest of the poor throughout the world.